Hello everybody and welcome to another video from me, Matt Goddard at the Boxing Locker. And today I'm going to talk to you about a mistake that I see people making all the time now. And I think this has really kind of been generated and created by this whole Instagram coaching vibe. Obviously, those of you that follow me on Instagram know that I have quite a big Instagram following. But I really just work on advocating the fundamentals, correct technique. I don't do things for the sake of appearance. I don't post content for the sake of looking good doing it. Everything that I do is either instructional with good fundamentals, is good knockouts or good clips from boxing, or is humorous, okay? So this video is kind of correcting something that I see done fundamentally wrong all the time, okay? And that is the slip. I'm talking about slipping orthodox to orthodox, slipping the orthodox jab. So if I'm in my boxing stance, the orthodox jab is going to be my opponent's left hand, and I'm in my orthodox stance. Right now, you all know my favorite stance. If you subscribe to me, you probably would have seen my favorite boxing position video. So I'm going to get myself in that position, which is right here, okay? Everything is set up how I want it to be set up. Now, the key factor here for me is making sure that when I slip, I'm getting my head off the center line, I'm staying balanced, and I'm maintaining defensive responsibility whilst also being capable of landing a counterpunch should it be necessary. So I have to balance those four factors, okay, the four facets of the defense. So I'm in my boxing stance. Now, first and foremost, I want to hinge at the hips, okay? Anybody that tells you that the slip comes from the knees is an idiot. They don't know what they're talking about, and it's completely wrong. They shouldn't be coaching boxing. Nobody that's ever had good defense generates their slips from their knees. It's always from the waist. Bend at the waist every single time. It's never any different. Any exceptional defensive boxer has always slipped punches exactly the same way. You can watch them all. Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, James Toney, Nicolino Lockie, Julio Cesar Chavez, Ezra Charles, everybody that's ever done it well has done it exactly the same way, and that's hinging at the hips. So I'm in my boxing stance, and the first thing I have to do is offset my hips. Knees go over toes, hips go over heels. Now I'm in this stance, I can slip far easier. I'm already halfway into that movement. Remember, the most frequently thrown punch that's going to come at me is the jab if I'm orthodox to orthodox. So I'm in that stance, I'm looking to slip to the side. I hinge at the hips. Now, here's another thing, something that I need to correct. There is no lead foot movement when you slip. At no point when I slip a punch do I turn my foot. Absolutely redundant, waste of time, risky, dangerous, stupid maneuver. Do not do it. Waste of time. In my boxing stance, I turn my foot. What is the value of that? I haven't added anything to my right leg. All I've done is put my weight all the way on that leg. If a second shot were to hit me in this position, I've got no resistance because all of my weight is in that leg. If I'm in my correct stance and I'm 60-40 as I should be, my weight is evenly distributed, fractionally more on the back leg, but I'm in a position where this front leg has contact with the ground. Should another punch come at me, I can drive off. If I turn that foot, what are you driving off with? There's no power. There's nothing to generate any power from. You have no balance. You have no stability. You have no resistance. I'm also overdoing the subsequent counter punch. I get in that position, I'm loaded up here, I'm slipped, I turn that foot. Now all of a sudden this punch comes from my foot. It takes me so much longer to throw. It's much less balanced. You have much less ground underneath you to generate power from, okay? It's ridiculous. Don't do it. Please, please, please don't do it. Anybody that tells you to do it, ignore them. It's a waste of time. It slows you down, it imbalances you, and it puts you at risk of being knocked over. So when you're slipping, I'm in my boxing stance, I bend at the hips. That's my whole movement. My legs are heavy, yeah? My back heel is slightly raised. You can't see it because I'm wearing these shoes, but when I take that shoe off, you'll see that my back heel is always slightly off the ground. I'm not up here. I don't want to be up here. Okay, that lifts me up. I don't want to rise up. I want to stay low. Hips back, sinking into my legs, nicely balanced, hinge at the hips. Now I'm in a position to do that slip. But now I've got resistance in the back leg. Should anything else come, I can push off that front leg, and I'm in a nice position, defensive responsibility. Nice position to subsequently come out and roll. Now I'm loaded on that left leg to come back with a good counter. The other thing is the counter. So from this position here, with no leg pivot, nice hinge at the hips, I'm in a great position to throw any right hand that I want. I can come up with an uppercut, I can come around with a hook to the body, I come over the top of the cross, try and throw my weight over. I can even push off this leg and step to counter. I've got every option under the sun. And there's absolutely nothing that's sort of taken from me. I can still throw my left hand as well. So I'm in that position, everything's nicely balanced. As that slip happens, I throw the jab up, slip jab, body jab, left hook. You've got options. You've got everything you can possibly want to do there because you're balanced, because you're defensively responsible, because you've set your position up nicely, because your weight is distributed properly, because the biomechanics of the movement are correct, all right? Please, please, before you leave a long comment telling me how wrong I am and how you've got to bend at the knees and how you've got to keep your eyes on the opponent and all of these same factors, this same drivel that everyone spouts at me every time I demonstrate this. Watch the best defensive boxers in history doing it. Watch Pernell Whitaker slipping punches. Watch the bend at the waist. Watch Floyd Mayweather making Canelo hit air for 12 rounds. Watch where he bends at the waist. Watch James Toney slipping shots in his stance, bending at the hips. Watch how far back he leans as he slips. Bop, he's here on that back leg. He's not twisting the foot, there's no turn. Yeah, he's here. Bop, back leg, then he can counter. Watch Nicolino Lockie in a more squared stance, bending at the waist to evade shots. Watch Willie Peck, watch Julio Cesar Chavez. Actually watch them with an analytical mind rather than with that kind of bias of the ridiculous level of unskilled Instagram coaching that exists right now, where there's absolutely no functional reality to any of the lessons they're giving you. Stop looking at pathetic drills that use millions of different pieces of equipment. They've got all sorts of extraneous rubbish added to them, and just look at what the greatest boxers in history do. Widely recognized as the greatest boxers in history. I don't necessarily agree with these, but widely recognized. You're talking about Sugar Ray Robinson, you're talking about Muhammad Ali, you're talking about Roberto Duran, you're talking about Sugar Ray Leonard. Watch the way they train. They aren't doing these ridiculous drills. They're the greatest boxers to have ever existed, judging by the wide majority of votes. And with that fact, you should understand that replicating the manner in which they train is important. And that's the same with defense, okay? Obviously, Muhammad Ali had a slightly more enigmatic style, being up on his toes, didn't slip too much, but watch him with his hands on the ropes, bending at the waist, bending at the waist, bending at the waist to get under them shots, yeah? He's twisting, he bends at the waist. Floyd Mayweather, same thing. Watch Sugar Ray Leonard evade his shots, same thing. I mean, everybody that's ever had good defense has done it, bending at the waist, yeah? Weight distribution correct, they're in a nice position to counter. In fact, Pernell Whitaker was often caught in a bad position to counter because his head movement was so fast and he relied so much on defense. Watch the fight against Oscar De La Hoya, he couldn't counter as often as he should have because his defense was forced to be so quick and he relied so heavily on head movement. That's not a negative, by the way, just a reference point, you know. So bending at the waist is key. Offset by hinging at the hips. Yeah, balance is key. We don't over rotate. We don't rotate that foot at all. Keeping our position correct so that we're in a position to rotate through our counters and step through our counters. Keeping our weight distribution correct, maintaining defensive responsibility. So I don't have to do this when I slip, okay? Now, if I know my opponent is throwing a quick 1-2, maybe I'll do that because I want to get under and then I might step in, try and absorb some impact and take that cross away from him. But you don't need to do that. I know that punch is sailed over my head. The jab is offering me protection. If I know he's throwing the right hand, I drop again and I roll under it, okay? If they don't throw the second shot, I come again with a counter, or I move off, or I create an angle. So there we have it, guys. Talked on for a bit longer than I planned to, but these are the kind of videos that generally people enjoy. So let me know if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out all my other content. Have a great day, everybody.